You be Ada, first daughter. It is your responsibility to make sure say your younger ones are taken care of.
You are raised by a mother that believed that maybe because you are the firstborn, all you have to do is take the bills, and provide for everybody, and don't even feel like you are doing anybody a favor or you are being helpful in any way, because it is your responsibility as long as you are the firstborn or you are part of the family. This is like a culture of the black tax that we are talking about, where once somebody begins to make little or significant progress with his life, everybody will be dragging him and tugging at him to get help, one help or the other. It is what I like to call the crabology. If you have seen this hit movie, Monica, the part 2 is the one that really got me fascinated. That if you are not careful, you can fall into a very bad weakness, a weakness I call learned helplessness. In fact, I'm not the one that coined that word. This is a psychologically backed and researched fact that people can suffer from learned helplessness. The character of Chris, talking about Monica's dad, so that man is an example of somebody that suffered from learned helplessness. And you see, learned helplessness is a place you get to where you feel like you cannot do anything to change a situation, or your voice doesn't even matter. If you watch that movie, you will see how the wife practically dominated the home and made even bad decisions, talking about practically placing irresponsible demand on her daughter, all in the name of Ada, that her daughter is the first child, and she made this young lady, she used this lady to a place where the lady became a shadow of herself until when she was delivered. And learned helplessness was what caused that situation to be heightened, because the man that is supposed to be in charge and say this is the trajectory of this home, this is right, this is wrong, became that individual that whatever the wife said was good, even at the expense of his own health. In fact, that was even the one that got me puzzled. Like, so this is where learned helplessness can take an individual, that if you are not careful, you can even die. He had developed a kidney disease, beknownst to him that he's supposed to have been admitted. He will tell the wife, I think we should go to the hospital, and the wife will be like, let me be pepper, let me be salt. He'll be like, there is that elf. She was practically not willing to support him for him to be treated, and he was also there just passive and, permit me to say, docile, until when he got to a critical stage and he collapsed. Eventually they will later rush him to the hospital, and they will not spend a couple of weeks there before he passed. And that's the truth. And that's why I said to myself, I will share with my community. Let's talk about this conversation. Learned helplessness. Don't allow Nigeria to make you fall into that space called learned helplessness. If you find yourself in a place where maybe for whatever reason you have tried and failed, and you have given up, that, well, let me just allow events to happen as they will happen, I cannot come and die. No, that's not an expedient way to live. In fact, let me just give you 5 practical ways to live the empowered life. Number 1, just settle it now. Know that no one is coming to save you. No one is coming to save you. When you understand this, that no one is coming to save you, you are literally going to sit down and chart the course of how you want to see your life transform. I'll tell you this, some of the people I learned from, you probably might not know them, but there is this big YouTube lady called Mel Robbins, and there's this other guy called Vin Yang. These two people, I've learned a lot from them. Mel Robbins is established in the personal development space. Vin Yang, some years ago, got to America, and he was looking at, expanding his communication business. Guess what? Mel Robbins helped him. She taught him this concept, this first concept that helps you to live the empowered life. She told him, gentleman, nobody is coming to save you. Roll your sleeve, make things happen. So Mel Robbins will give him some gig, talking about public speaking gig back then, that she could not attend. And he himself, coming from Australia to the US, rolled his sleeve and was willing to hone his craft and deliver those speeches and deliver at those events where Mel couldn't go. Fast forward till today, he has more than 4 million subscribers on his channel, I think Mel has a couple of million too, but in terms of YouTube success, he is more successful than her. But it was just one thing that Mel shared with him, and that's what I'm sharing with you. That settle it now. Know that no one is coming to save you. Then if no one is coming to save you, then you are graduating to number 2. To live the empowered life, you have to know this. Responsibility is the name of the game. Absolutely. Yes. Responsibility is the name of the game. The man, Chris, in that movie, played Monica's dad. The man was the example of an irresponsible man. The mother was mean to the child. He didn't say anything. He loved the daughter, but his action did not demonstrate it. This daughter literally suffered raising her siblings, and the dad will not bring balance to whatever his wife was doing. That's irresponsible. If you're a father in a home and your family is suffering, and you find it you are very comfortable to go and drink away your sorrow, maybe because you have lost your job or something, you are irresponsible. If you're a wife and you feel like taking care of the family is for your husband, and you are working at a decent job, making decent income, but you are saving it or building somewhere, is irresponsible. I'll tell you the truth. I have seen this happen in Africa. I used to even wonder, how do people think? How do people get to a place where they allow themselves to become irresponsible? You're a mother. You gave birth to these children and you have money, but for whatever reason, you will rather go and build, and your children will be suffering. That's irresponsible. Because I need to put a balance to this conversation about irresponsibility, because a man can be irresponsible, likewise a woman can. If you want to live the empowered life, you need to become responsible. And what that concept of responsibility, maybe one of these days I might even do a whole conversation on it, that there is a formula I learned many years ago. That formula has fundamentally helped the trajectory of my life. And what's that formula? E plus R equals O. That event plus response equals outcome. So there are the events of your life that sometimes you cannot entirely control, but there is the part you can control, and it is the response. And if you have the right response to any event, good or bad, I tell you, you will have a good outcome. This will take us to point number 3, that you should fundamentally know that your background does not define you. Yes, absolutely. What am I talking about? If you know the popular preacher Joyce Meyer, although she was born into a dysfunctional home, she perpetually suffered abuse from her own biological father. She did not allow the abuse to define her. Today she is 82 years young and she's still thriving in ministry. Your background should not put your back on the ground. And number 4, you have a choice in this matter. You have a choice. Quote I like that has empowered me all my life is, if it's going to be, it's up to me. That I have a choice to make. Choose to make something meaningful out of my life. You know, just look at that story of, Monica that I shared with you, Monica part 2. How this man had fallen into victim mode. And that's where many of us are now. We feel like cannot change anything, and as a result, we cave in. No. In fact, this is what I always tell people. There is something that is called outwitting the devil. You choose life that you can live. And do you know one thing about choice? Is what I've come to know is, if you don't choose life, you have chosen death. Because honestly, there is no middle ground. Like the story I shared with you about Joyce Meyer. If you know Joyce Meyer, there is also it is a popular story that her younger brother died as a junkie. He did not choose life. He did not choose to change things. He chose death. But he didn't go and say, I chose death. Because the truth is, nobody will consciously choose negative outcome out of his life. But there are actions that endorse negative reality. And that's learned helplessness. It endorses negative reality. As we saw, Chris's character literally died because of learned helplessness. And the daughter would have also died of learned helplessness. And that's even, for me, that's even the part where that movie becomes instructive. That the life you are living before your children, they are watching. Look at that Monica movie. How will a lady be solid for all her siblings, and even her younger brother's girlfriend that had gotten pregnant and moved into the house. She was so solid that she helped saw her younger ones to the university and they graduated, and she could not even further her own education. She dropped out. She would pick a skill she cannot even spend on being the best version of herself until when she delivered herself from that yoke that she had gotten into. She chose life, and I tell you, you can choose life. And last, make a decision, have a resolve within yourself. Be like our friend Viktor Frankl is the man that authored that powerful book, Man's Search for Meaning. And in that powerful book, we learned that the last freedom nobody can take away from you is the freedom of what to think and how to think. That regardless of what is happening outside, you can decide how your internal frame of mind will work. That you can decide how to respond to life. That you can either react to life or respond to life. Reaction is impulsive. Response is thought driven. Response is superior to reaction. And so look at your life. Decide at this moment that this light of mine, I'm gonna make it shine. And I tell you the truth, even though the song it says, this little light of mine, I'm gonna make it shine, I am telling you now that the light is not little. The light is blossom. Go and shine. Don't be a victim of learned helplessness. Be like our friend that died in that movie, Monica 2, as a result of learned helplessness. Look through these 5 points. Empower yourself. Choose the empowered life. Become intentional about the outcome of your life. Don't live by default. Live by design. Many thanks for being a part of today's conversation. I remain Michael Ogunshola saying you are created for peak performance.